Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Wow. They're not a good team, and the conditions saved you. Actually, let me tell you something. The conditions actually helped out Pittsburgh more than it did Cleveland, because you remember them 2 passes they missed wide open, Cleveland? They missed that, and then they got the fumble, the interception. It helped out Pittsburgh more than it helped out Cleveland, so I'm not buying that. I'm not rolling with that.
Well, I mean, certainly, and Joy hates me talking about the weather, but the weather, George Pickens is right. The weather did play a factor. Now, both teams played in it.
Yeah, they both got to play in it.
There's no question about it. Both teams played in it, but I feel like Pittsburgh got the worst of the situation.
No.
Because they turned the football over.
So did Cleveland.
The punch out. They had 2 fumbles. One of them was negated. The other one they was able to recover. Russell Wilson fumbled. I mean, it's just one of those situations. But I believe the weather certainly changed the way that you approach and you play. It just does, especially with this type of team and the way that they're built. Okay? Smash mouth, football. Now, Russell Wilson had a decent game. He was 21 to 28, 270, a touchdown. So he played okay, but they could have been a lot better if it was cleaner, clearer, not as crisp. And I don't even know how cold it was, but you got to think, man, and that cold and that snow and that rain, when it starts to come down, it just changes everybody's mindset. It really does, Joy. And don't give me, girl, don't do that. Give me half-eye looks and smirks and all that. It's tough.
I am not. Listen, I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I have spent many an evening in Akron, Ohio, in similar weather, watching the Akron Zips. I understand how awful and uncomfortable it is. That is why I'm currently in California, and I have a heated blanket on my lap in the studio with my coffee. I'm not trying to be outside in that weather. My question is, why didn't it hurt Cleveland? Why isn't Cleveland talking about the weather?
It did. They're not talking about it, but think about...
Is Pittsburgh not cold?
Cleveland dropped
I remember
balls.
Pittsburgh being pretty cold. It gets like that in Pittsburgh. It's not that far away.
It's true.
It's a 2-hour drive.
No, that's so true. You're right. I played in this stuff, too, where we played in New York. But then when you get to Buffalo and you sitting up and it's 19, wind chill at kickoff. And then in Chicago, I played another time, and wind chill was 16 at kickoff. In 2000, Green Bay, minus 15.
Yeah, it sounds horrible. But I'm just saying, why is it always affect the losing team and not the winning team?
Because you make more mistakes. That's why you lose the game.
Well, what I'm saying is, why does it affect the losing team and not the winning team?
But that's an excuse.
It's an excuse.
Yes, it's an excuse. Of course it's an excuse.
I don't want to hear about the weather. The other team played. It's not like the other team was playing virtually on the inside inside a dome or something. Like, yeah, but you didn't play your same game. You did not play your same game as you would have if the weather was good football weather. 60 degrees,
Were you a receiver?
Whatever. But, and yes, the receiving and the passing game, everything is affected.
Your footing
the
is screwed up.
The field goal kicker, Boswell makes the kick. But, like, why does it only affect one side of the ball? You just didn't play your best game. You didn't convert on multiple.
Use that as an excuse.
Well, I don't like excuses.
Well, it's going to happen. That's what the players, certain players are going to say, I couldn't see the football because it's hard to see it. They're going to say the quarterback didn't see me, because it's hard to see through the snow.
Jameis could see.
Well, you think...
I mean, this was the perfect setup game, because when you think about it, like, Pittsburgh is probably going to win this game 3 out of 4 times, if they play 3 out of 4 times, right?
Maybe. Joy said yesterday it was going to be tough.
Yeah, what makes it tough is because it's a divisional game.
Right.
And the familiarity with one another, the coaching and everything. But this is how I always compare it to boxing. You know how boxing and styles makes fights, right? When you have the heavy favorite and you have the underdog. Well, how does the underdog get the favorite? I mean, get the advantage. You got to mix it up. You got to do things that they're not used to. Grab, hold, push. And that's what the snow was for them. You know what I'm saying? It was like almost like in basketball, you just junk up the game. So this makes the game on level playing field. When you see the snow and the blizzard, it's like, oh, okay, this gives them an advantage. And so I'm not surprised, actually. I thought Pittsburgh would win, but I'm not surprised Cleveland got this game.
Is the Steelers' offense holding them back, Key?
I don't think so. I think I don't think it is at all because, again, and I know you want to punch me, the weather because it wasn't holding them back last
So
week.
how was the weather
It wasn't
last
holding
week?
them back the week before and the week before
Well,
that.
I mean, they didn't score last week. It was the special teams,
it was the
actually.
weather. It was
Well,
the
that's
weather
part of your offense is putting points on the board when you're kicking.
3 phases of the game.
Yeah, they kicking.
Offense,
yeah, when
defense,
your
special
offense
teams.
isn't scoring points, somebody else needs to step up, and that unit stepped up.
Right, so the
But I
question
think
is
that
the offense holding them back 2 weeks in a row now?
No, I don't think the offense. I think they'll be fine. I really honestly do. Again, I think Russell played well in this environment. He didn't play lights out great if it was dry and nice, but he played okay. And I think if George Pickens and you say, well, this weather is in Pittsburgh, well, this is not every single game in Pittsburgh. It's not.
There is no difference. There's no difference between playing in Cleveland and playing in Pittsburgh, other than Pittsburgh is an infinitely better city. Sorry, Mohan. Okay, there's just no difference in the weather, the climate. It is the same.
I understand that, but when you get this type of weather, though,
On the road,
whether you're at home or on the road, they could have played bad at home with this weather. Receiver, first of all, footing, locating the football, trying to run your routes full speed without slipping and sliding and falling down. All of those sort of things psychologically could mess with certain people. Now, if you said to me, is George Pickens and the receiver core weak-minded and not be able to get these sort of things out of their mind, I don't know. Maybe it affects them, but it doesn't affect the offensive line. Maybe it affects the running backs. Maybe it doesn't affect the defensive backs. The weather, I think, really played a significant part in what this offense could look like.
I don't think so. I mean, we saw them in good weather last week, didn't get a touchdown. So they looked and scored more points this week in the snow than they did last week against the Ravens. So, like I said, both teams play in the snow. Same ball, same referees. They both got cleats on. I can't give it advantage. The coaching, I can't give advantage to the weather because Pittsburgh, they play in the cold. They play in a division where it snows. Come on.
That's hard.
Let's just say,
but it was hard for Cleveland, too.
How about
and
It's not like Cleveland offense.
Here's what I'm saying.
It's not like Cleveland offense
Here's
look
what I'm saying
like.
about the weather. If it's an advantage to a specific team, it has to be because that team is not familiar with this sort of activity.
Like if it
Pittsburgh
was
is. If
Miami
it
or
was Miami
somebody,
or Tampa or
yeah, it'd make a
Jacksonville
difference.
or a dome team, okay, I'm with you. But that's not the case, and it can't be a reason if Cleveland won. Like, maybe if it's a tie, but it's not an excuse. It wasn't an advantage Cleveland's. The only advantage was they were on the road.
Maybe it was Mike Tomlin can't win on Thursday. Maybe it's they can't beat Cleveland on the road in the snow. Like give me something else. Don't give me the weather. I mean, we already know what their record is with Mike Tomlin on a Thursday night.
But when you game plan it and you call in certain things that may not match with the weather.
I'm trying to understand why it was an advantage for the Browns.
But it wasn't necessarily an advantage, even though they won the game. The Browns' offense it was a sloppy game all the way around.
Yeah, but if it's
One
an
was more
excuse,
sloppy than the
it would
other.
have to be an advantage to the other team in some way.
George Pickens used it as an excuse. He did. And usually people, that's what they're going to say is, well, it was the weather. That's just what they're going to say. That's just what it is. They're going to say that. Nothing you can do about it.
I'm trying to figure out why it was an advantage to the Browns, though.
No,
I don't know that it was an advantage to the Browns. It was a sloppy game all the way around.
No, because Pittsburgh had their chance. They took the lead in the fourth quarter on a throw that
And then went
most
3
of us would have dropped. I mean, right there, dead center, that middle, and he gave them a chance. What happened was when the defense that you relied on all year long finally let you down, that last drive, a defense that you rely on, a defense that we say is a championship defense against the Browns, let them down on the last drive. That's what happened. Because if they hold, they win. And another missed point when they put Justin Fields. This is the part I didn't get either. This one play in the fourth quarter, it was 3:30 to go with Pittsburgh driving, and they put Fields in 3rd and 2, and they go downfield. Why isn't I question more of the coaching decisions at that.
3rd and 4.
At 3rd and 4, right here.
Yeah,
it's 3rd and 4 right here. And they go for it all. Like, this is the play I didn't understand.
Yeah, that's supposed to be
Well,
Russ.
you're trying to surprise Cleveland's defense because typically Justin Fields, when he comes into a game, I'm not going to say the word, but when he comes into the game and they have a certain situation that they want to utilize him
They
in.
have packages for him.
I didn't want to say that because I got a kid sitting over here. You look at that situation and you say to yourself, okay, they're expecting us to do this. let's try to have some shock value to him.
Right. Well,
that's why they do that.
Instead, it was shock, turn the ball back over to
I personally wouldn't have called
the Browns,
it, but
and you go 3 and out, and they drive down the field and score.
No,
so
I wouldn't have called it.
I mean, the red zone also wasn't good last night. They were 1 and 2 in the red zone. They're 15th in red zone scoring percentage this season, and they were 1 and 3 on 4th down last night as well. So they had their opportunities, and they did not take advantage of them. I don't want to hear about the weather. You had many opportunities. So you had an opportunity to put the game away, and you didn't do it. I don't know if the offense is holding them back, but I don't think that you can back-to-back weeks rely on your special teams and then use the excuse of the weather when you're supposed to be contending for a championship. There's going to be a moment where your defense lets you down. Is your offense able to pick it up and put you in a position to win?
Yeah, the defense let them
better
down.
conditions, though, does the offense do better? Does the defense get to Jameis Winston? Do they dial up more blitzes or more things that could harass Jameis Winston with a better situation in the weather? Probably so. This is why the weather plays a part.
There's nothing we can do about that. On the Browns side, Jameis Winston got his second win as the Cleveland starter. Jameis had 217 passing yards and 1 rushing touchdown. After the game, he was pretty excited about the experience. Jameis, just a word of advice, when the snow has already hit the ground, you don't eat that snow.
That's the energy I'm talking about.
The only snow you can
eat
is when it's fallen. Do not pick the snow up off the ground and eat the snow. I know it looks...
Snow is clean, Joy. You can eat the snow.
You cannot eat the snow.
You can eat it from the air.
That's what she just said.
When it's falling, the second it hits the ground, it's not for you no more. It's no longer food, okay? It's got to be coming from the sky. Do not eat that snow.
Not even the 5-second rule?
No rules. No.
3 seconds?
Yuck. It's yucky.
1 second?
No, because you know the babies will just pick it. No, it's only from the sky. Man. You don't want that, and definitely not the yellow one.
Oh,
is Jameis just a good story or still a starter?
I think he is going to be a starter again in the National Football League. Good player. And I know we all go back to the 35 interceptions or whatever that number was in Tampa Bay, and that just sticks in people's mind.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. But if you go back and you look at him coming out of Florida State and learning how to play in a certain system, and then Bruce Arians comes in as his head coach, and then all of a sudden, if you look at Bruce Arians' record, first-time quarterbacks with him as a head coach or offensive coordinator, their interception totals is through the roof. With that being said, he goes to New Orleans, he backs up a little bit, he gets in, he looks pretty good at times, he wins a couple games, then he becomes a starter, then he gets hurt. He was the starter, he got hurt. ACL. So now it doesn't work out. He moves on to Cleveland, and when he's gotten his opportunity, he's done pretty well. I think he'll be a starter in the league again.
I think he's a low-end starter bridge guy.
That's okay, though.
You know, that's great. I think he's too good. He's too good to be a backup.
No, he won't be a backup.
He's a backup in Cleveland because Deshaun Watson was supposed to be great.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's somebody that you can build your organization around.
But it's also smart for Cleveland to sign him because Deshaun stayed hurt over the last several years.
Right.
So you go get a guy who's played, who's won games, who knows how to play. Look at Geno Smith. Okay? They had him dead. Sam Darnold, dead. Baker Mayfield, to a degree, was supposed to just be out of the league in people's eyes. But those are just 3 examples of guys that got other opportunities to start elsewhere and stay healthy, and look what their career's bringing to them now.
It's a lot of ifs, right? Like, there's never a question about whether or not he had talent.
What's the if?
Can he stay healthy? Can he be consistent? If you give him this job, is he going to get comfortable and then start turning the ball over? He's known for doing that. It's not just that one season that was obviously astronomical, but like the decision-making, when you're talking about a starter, a player that you can build your organization around, that you can count on week in and week out to have a consistent level of play and consistent winning, is that possible with him? That doesn't mean that he's not a starter, because the demand for quarterbacks there's more demand than there is supply. And that's why I'm saying I think he's played a lot of games and has a lot of experience. Is he going to be a winning organization? Is it going to be an organization that's going to go and compete for championships or win playoff games? That I don't know. But I definitely think he'll be one of those guys who has a starting job next year.
Yeah, I think it's just like a Band-Aid right now for them. You know, but his energy is contagious. I mean, give the man a break. He beat the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a starter right now. He's bounced back. That's what the American story, the American dream is all about. When you fall, you get up. And this is what we're seeing right now. I mean, what more you want the guy to do? What more do you want him to do? He beats Pittsburgh. I'm willing to go out on a limb and say, man, with this energy that he's bringing to the press conferences, if he had been the starting quarterback day one, he probably would have had the Cleveland Browns in the playoff running.
It seemed like every quarterback that took over for Deshaun
gets in the playoff run.
Not necessarily, yeah,
I mean,
getting the playoff run. Just look, the offense just looks a little bit different for whatever it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely should have another opportunity. Again, it's a matter of what kind of system is he going to be in, what kind of players are around him, because we don't think of Cleveland as a good team right now, but they have a lot of talented pieces still.
Yeah.
So it's looking good for them right now. We'll see what direction they go in next year, but either way, they're going to have to make some decisions. A team that just made a decision.
Is he just as good as Russ right now, as Russ today?
No.
He's just as good as Russ today. Today, not all time. Today. You see, he's thinking about it, right?
I'm not thinking about it. Russ is on a better team, so.
I mean, he's on a better team.
Who would you trust more?
Well, Russ is one. He's
start
one
to end of the season.
But if we're talking about, like, if we put the quarterbacks in tiers, and you gave,
I can't trust him.
If you gave Jameis the opportunity and put a decent roster from week one.
Yeah, no, it's Russ.
It's Russ.
I get it. But we wasn't saying that when Russ was in Denver, just like we wasn't saying that when he was in. Well,
Denver was just a mess in general. It was just a mess.
Yeah, but I mean, he's had the opportunity to be a starter for
30
lots of years. Like
Tampa.
He's had some.
He was good in New Orleans. Now,
yeah, exactly.
He was good in New Orleans. Some people felt that he should have been the starter at Drew Brees' last year in New Orleans, but they were not going to do that.
I'll say give him a chance. He's
going to get a chance.
He's going to get a chance the rest of the season, obviously. But
you'll get a chance next year,
you can build for the next few years with him.
He'll be all right.
Also, we're going to have to revisit that American dream. I think it's been adjusted. Some breaking news out of New York. The Giants released Daniel Jones at his request just 2 years after signing the quarterback to a $160 million extension. Jones finishes his time in New York officially now with only 25 wins in 6 seasons.
Wow.
All right.
Yes.
The New York Football Giants. How bad does this look for them, Key?
How bad does it look for them or Daniel Jones?
How bad does the Daniel Jones saga look for the Giants? How bad has this all played out?
Bad. They look, from day one, they misevaluated the whole Daniel Jones experience.
From the draft.
From the draft, out the gate. Okay, Dave Gettleman, the former general manager, got caught up in the Dave Cutcliffe Manning saga. He's going to be just like Eli, and Cutcliffe coached him, and he says he's just like him. His attitude, how he approaches things. It's like, come on, man, you obviously wasn't really watching him at the level at Duke, the way that, you know, for the number 6 pick. We didn't say the 26th pick.
Right.
We say the 6th pick of the draft. And then, to make it even worse, they further misevaluated him in Joe Shane and along with Brian Daboll because he won a playoff game in Minnesota and had Saquon Barkley in the backfield. So they decided to, as we continue to talk about, pay this guy, but don't pay the other guy, and then this is what you get. You think they sat at the table and said, we're going to sign you, and 2 seasons later, we're going to get rid of you, we're going to give you all this money. No, they thought that they really hit something, so they misevaluated it. They didn't trust it. The market wasn't even there for him to allow him to go into free agency or not tag him, or tag him better yet and not sign him and sign Saquon Barkley. Whichever way, they could still have Saquon and probably have a better quarterback in Daniel Jones with the help of Saquon Barkley. But they decided to do something totally different, and this is what they got.
They have the 4th worst record since 2020. They are 28-50 since Eli left. No
28
division
and
wins.
50.
Yes.
One playoff win since Eli left.
And that's really what Daniel Jones got paid off of, was that
one
playoff win, which, by the way, they were 9-8
And he was
that
okay.
season.
He can run. He could do some things.
I need to be a quarterback
okay.
right now. Give me one playoff win. I give me one playoff win.
Just get you back. The Giants are unserious.
I could have did that.
They're not the organization that they used to be, and I've been saying this for years.
They got caught up, though, Joy. It looks like, he just looks, you know how they go, Paul. He looks like him. He reminds us of the guy that beat the Patriots twice. He was coached by the same guy. And, you know, all of those sort of things will mess with personnel people's minds on how to make decisions about players when they should not allow other people to influence them on making decisions. That happens.
So you're saying that Eli ran so he can walk?
I mean,
that's what you said.
I mean, that's what they said, not me. That's what they said.
That's what it sounds like you said. He looks like.
It was when he came out in the draft, everything was about carbon copy of Eli Manning.
Okay.
He was coached by him. It was all of those sort of things.
I still feel Eli got lucky in them 2 championships.
That may be true, but he won big in the playoffs to get to those championships. He may have had subpar 500 regular seasons, but come playoff time, he was money.
Yeah.
And they fell in love with the idea of having this type of quarterback with a Saquon Barkley, but didn't value Saquon enough to realize he's the reason that this quarterback is having the success that he's having. And when you strip a piece away from somebody and don't bring in the same type of piece to help them, at the end of the day, this is what you're getting. A guy that you got to release and get rid of 2 seasons later.
It's tough in New York right now.
Or better yet, 2 seasons later.
That whole stadium, that whole New York Jets, that stadium ain't doing good right now. The Jets, the Giants. I feel like we talking about, what situation is worse right now? I can't even tell you.
They're both really bad.
Oh, it's really bad. I feel bad for Daniel Jones. Did you see the apology or the conference he had? Did you see that?
Yeah.
What's next for
Did you
Daniel
feel bad
Jones?
for him? What's next? I'll tell you what.
Why would I feel bad for him?
Because, man, I felt like I genuinely felt that he gave his all. Like, I didn't feel
I hope
like...
he didn't give his all.
No, but it just...
I hope there's some more left.
No, I genuinely felt like, man, this is... I tried, y'all. Like, I tried. Like, I felt it in his voice, and, like, he appreciated the fact he got the opportunity. Now he must move on. But I think what's next? I think he'll get another opportunity.
That's a classy stand-up guy.
But I know he's stand-up, but I don't get that from everybody, though. You don't get that when somebody gets cut or traded. You know, it's always about, this or that.
I don't know that I was going to...
They go the social media route.
I wouldn't get ready to play the quarterback route. I'm sorry. Not doing it.
But I think he gets another opportunity. I think he's young enough still. You got to understand, he's like Key, you said it earlier. Look at the guys whose career have rebounded. Geno, Sam, in Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield. Like, these guys got into the right place, the right coach, and they're starting to thrive. Now, I still think there's opportunity for this. I'm not giving up on Daniel Jones just yet because I know he's going to put in the work. I can tell from his speech that he gave on the way out that he's going to put in the work.
Me and Joy bust up laughing, man.
He's going to put in the work. I believed him, though. I believed him, man.
I believe him, too.
I think he cares, of course.
You got to understand how some guys don't care, though. Like, think about that.
Listen, I would not care if I made $108 million.
Man,
I would not care.
To win how many games?
Good. I don't have to be around y'all.
You know, this is a generation that
25 games. Yeah. If I got $100 million to win 25 games, you ain't getting nice words out of bye.
You ain't giving no goodbye speech?
For what?
But 125 mil.
I earned that.
But see,
I'm really overpaid for those 25 wins.
But see, the whole calculated goodbye speech, the nice guy going to stand up there, the Duke, that's cool. That's all good, fine and dandy. Like Joy said, I got 125 games. I'm going to go somewhere else, and I'm going to trick them again. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You're going to trick him again.
I think he is a backup quarterback, and that's not a bad life. He got his bag, as we said. He's made $108 million in his career. Not that we're counting pockets, but you can go and sit on the beach and enjoy your life. You don't have to continue playing football if you don't want to at this point. But I still think he has a very high upside as a backup quarterback.
Well,
that's a good life. You can make a lot of money.
He might be a starter again.
Okay, I don't want this is why I don't want to do this. I'm just saying nice things right now.
No, he might be a
Yeah.
I
starter
want to say the
again.
positive. So the one time,
Is it number
because
one?
here's the thing: before Daboll got there, he was bad, and then Daboll got there.
You know, his
he
coach
was
his coach was a special teams coach.
Okay, he was 9-6-1. The 1 year that got him that contract, the 1 year that they went to the playoffs, they were 9-6-1. They won 1 playoff game. Okay, he had 15 passing touchdowns and 7 rushing touchdowns.
He was throwing to nobodies.
Okay, but what I'm just trying to say that this was the peak. All right, this was the best it got.
Oh, that was the peak.
So
22 15 total touchdowns.
No. 22
15 passing?
22 total.
Okay,
15
22
passing
total.
touchdowns.
Okay.
7 rushing touchdowns.
solid.
He
That's
can
solid.
run a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
17 games.
That's a touchdown. That's more than a touchdown a
Okay.
game.
So all I'm saying is, if someone wants to sign up for them to be a starter, that's
I don't think, Joy, I don't think he'll be an immediate starter. I think what will happen is he will have to sit tight for a little bit.
Right.
Like they all do. Whether it's Geno, whether it's Baker, whether it's Mitch Trubisky that went to Pittsburgh and tried it, it didn't work out, whether it's Sam, he's gonna have to sit tight. Just sit tight for a year and a half. You go to a team that needs a backup with maybe a little older quarterback or somebody that's a little unstable, and you get your opportunity, your chance. You go to a quarterback fixer. Somebody who's a quarterback fixer. I don't know who that might be.
Daboll is
there.
a quarterback fixer.
So we think, because he had
No,
Josh
he did.
Allen.
He fixed Daniel Jones for that. That was a fixed Daniel Jones.
Did he fix Daniel Jones, or did Saquon Barkley's ability to be on the field with Daniel Jones?
Yeah, I think it was both.
And then as
Obviously,
soon
Saquon being there
as
helped him.
Saquon leaves, Daniel Jones looks like a pumpkin.
He looked like a pumpkin before.
No, but he was a cool pumpkin, though. He was one of the nice ones.
I love pumpkins.
So what does that tell you?
But cool or uncool? What are uncool pumpkins? Like the meanly carved pumpkins?
The ones that's kind of crooked. You know, the ones.
Listen, Daniel Jones is going to play lots more football in the NFL.
Yeah.
I just don't think that he's going to be a franchise guy.
He doesn't have to be a franchise. You don't have to be a franchise quarterback to have success in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to be a starting quarterback on the right on the right team in the right situation. Because everybody's not going to be a franchise player. They're just not. It's just
But
they're
people
not.
convince themselves that they can make them that
Oh my God, yes.
all the time.
Oh yeah, it's
I can fix him, girl.
It's some smart.
Right. Nah, he
It's
is who he
He ain't
is.
gonna be like that with me.
He is who he
It's
is.
some
He only did
smart.
that to you.
I'm telling you, it's some smart dude.
You didn't support him the way that I do.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not getting involved in that with y'all.
That's true.
Y'all
That
got
happens. Hey,
issues. I
can be changed.
I can't help y'all
You
with
can
y'all
change.
issues.
Yeah.
I can change.
I can
We
change.
can change.
When?
Daniel Jones can change.
Oh, okay.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.